Hello everyone, my name is Florine and I'm a mom to a 2-year-old baby girl. Firstly, I would like to thank you for all the positive feedbacks I have received on my previous videos. Thank you very much. I also have received few queries asking me how to get your kids to do these activities or how much time to spend doing these activities and so on. So in today's video, I will address these queries.
First step is to introduce the activity to your kid. It is important to show them how it's done, and that too very slowly. We adults have a tendency to talk while showing the child how it's done. But a toddler may not understand all the words we use, plus he will get distracted as to where to focus, on our words or hands. Hence, show them using slow hand movements and omit usage of words. Initially, you may have to show them multiple times repeatedly for few days, but gradually they will do it on their own. Once you finish showing, let the child make an attempt. They will not be able to do it immediately. Hence, we need to be patient. Take a step back and just observe them. A little prompting is okay. For example, you can say twist for puzzles or pull for opening a box, etc. But provide help only when they ask for or when you feel they are getting frustrated. Usually they show their frustration by throwing things. Then you may gently take over and again show them how it's done. And very importantly, keep your calm. If they are throwing or getting frustrated, it may imply that it is either too difficult for them or currently they are not interested. So take it away and they can work on it later. Once you take away the activity, do not put it in a toy bin or a cabinet. Put it where they can see it and reach easily, preferably on an open shelf or a table. Keep the activity displayed at their level so that they can choose to do it whenever they want to. This is very important because sometimes when we least expect, the child will go and work on it. Displaying the activity means, firstly, it should be accessible to them at all times. This way they can grab it themselves when they feel like it. Secondly, preferably use a tray or a basket to arrange the activity. And ensure all pieces are there in the tray and nothing is missing. Thirdly, undo the activity and keep. A completed activity will not attract them or encourage them to play with. Take for example this puzzle. Keep the puzzle pieces on the left side and the board on the right. This will also unconsciously prepare them for writing later on, since we write from left to right. Fourth, if a toy has too many pieces like magnet tiles or train tracks, do not give all the pieces at once. Just give few. Initially when I gave her this set of 2-piece puzzle, she didn't even look at the puzzle but instead started playing with the box. Later, I took out few pieces and kept it in a tray. And during the course of the day, she went and grabbed it and started solving on her own. Fifth is to keep sufficient distance between two toys. This way it becomes easy for kids to distinguish the toys and also which part belongs to which toy. Hence keep them spaced out. And lastly, note that less is more. Keep only few of their toys or activities on display. If you give them all of their toys at once, they will get confused and frustrated. Less toys help them play with more focus. I keep only 8 toys on display at a time and rest all are hidden away from sight.
I once forgot this principle. This was during her birthday week. She had received few toys which were out for her to play along with the 8 activities which I usually keep. And this was the period that she was very cranky and easily frustrated. She used to play independently earlier, but during that time she wanted us to play with her constantly because she was confused and distracted seeing so many toys. Once I removed the extra toys, she was back to her normal self.
Let me elaborate with an example which we adults can relate to. Displaying attracts attention. When we go shopping for clothes at a mall, there are some clothes which are displayed on a mannequin or hung up. This immediately grabs our attention and we pick it up for trial. So 50% of the job is done by this display. Same way it is for kids. If toys are displayed attractively, it will grab their attention. Now there are some clothes which are folded and kept tucked away in some shelves high up, which we can't see, and if no one is there to show it to us, we ignore them. Same with toys. Toys need to be accessible at all times so that kids can choose what they want when they want. Also, some of the clothes are not displayed but folded and kept on lower shelves where we can easily reach. So, what do? Because we cannot see the entire outfit, we pick it up and check to see if it is to our liking or not. If not, we throw it aside. Again, we grab another one, and again, if we don't like it, we toss it aside, creating a pile of mess which is later cleared by their staff. In the same way, if toys are all dumped in a box, bin, or a cabinet without proper display, the kids will dig and throw the ones they don't want. And by the end of the day, all their toys will be out. Also, seeing so many options, even we adults get confused as to what to buy. Similarly, giving kids a lot of options at once will confuse them. Just give them few toys and rotate it frequently. Rotating their toys is important as well. Like us, kids also get bored of seeing the same things over and over again. Hence, keep only 6 to 8 toys or activities out at a time and rotate it periodically. Also, if a toy has not been touched at all or not played with for quite some time, it's time to rotate it. Keeping less toys out also means less mess for us to clear up. At our home, we rotate our toys weekly. When I said display 6 to 8 activities at a time, I didn't include books, soft toys and movement toys. These 6 to 8 activities comprises of some skill they are looking to master, such as language skill, cognitive or reasoning skill, fine motor or pincer grasp, or visual discrimination skill. These are mentioned in detail in my previous videos. Do check it out if you haven't already. Most of us live in apartments and are short of space. In this case, you can make a daily or a weekly box or a bin where you put their activities for the day. But do put it out on a tray or lay it down during their playtime. This way, toddlers can reach and play at their own will and they won't have to rummage inside the bin. We have this indoor slide, and since we are also short of space, we used to keep it pushed to one side. When it was new, she played a lot with it. But slowly her usage of the slide reduced. The reason was because it was pushed to a side and not available when she wanted. So now every morning or during her playtime, we move it to the middle of the room such that it is inviting her to come and slide. And now she uses it every day. In our homes, we all have created an area where our kids can play. Their toys and activities just needs to be arranged such that they are pulled towards it. How much time to spend doing the activities will depend whether the parent takes the lead or the child. For a child less than 2.5 years of age, not more than 15 minutes every day if the lead is taken by the parent. And for older toddlers, it can be stretched for 25 to 30 minutes. This much time is more than enough, and you will be surprised how much they can grasp. And if a child himself goes to the shelf, picks up an activity and does it or tries to do it, let them do it for whatever time they wish to, without any interference from us. If a child is engrossed in an activity, do not interfere even to say good job. Don't praise them even if you feel they have completed the job. This will only distract them and their focus will be shifted from what they were doing to you or something else. We may think the job is complete, but for them they may have wanted to do something more with it. And once the focus is shifted, they may forget what they were supposed to do. A toddler does need more guidance and appreciation than older kids. Give it only when they seek for it or if you see them getting frustrated. But do avoid constantly praising your kids, and definitely no false praises.
You may feel like this is a lot of information to take in and it may seem too complicated. But believe me, it's not that complex. Just start small. Don't buy or introduce everything at once. We also started with just 2 activities initially and slowly increased it to 8. Also, note there will be days where your kid will not touch any activities you prepared for them. There will be times where they will just want to run around the house or just jump or just sit and read. But there will be times when they will sit with an activity for a longer period. We just need to prepare their space and keep and follow their lead. This can be very difficult sometimes and overwhelming even for us adults. Give time and be patient with your child as well as with yourself. Hope you found this video useful. If you need any further information on this, please mention in the comments below. Thank you for watching.